everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is My Life in Taiwan and my name is Allan, also known as Ingguo Susu, the English uncle. Of course, I'd much rather be known as the Ingguo Gege or perhaps even Ingguo Schreiger, but alas, those days have passed, so the English uncle it is. But the point is that people here on Taiwan YouTube recognize me as the British representative here in Taiwan. I feel it is my role to relate to you all things British and make some comparisons between this fine country of Taiwan and the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, where I come from. So in today's video, I'll be doing exactly that and trying to explain 5 reasons that I think life in Taiwan is better for me than life in the UK. Because after a couple of more, let's say, reflective videos recently, what the hell am I doing here? Some people have been telling me in the comment section that maybe it's time for me to pack up my life, give up and go to live back in the UK where I come from. Some of them think it's time for me to restart my life in the UK, but I disagree. I think that Taiwan is still a fantastic option for me and many other foreigners to settle down long term. The first reason I'm going to give is, of course, Taiwan's amazing healthcare. It probably deserves its own full feature video in future, but Taiwan's healthcare is ranked as one of the best in the world. And yes, the UK is very proud of its national health service too, but it is under huge strain, massively underfunded, which is leading to huge wait times for people requiring operations, as well as a general criticism of the level of care, leading many people to abandon the NHS in the UK and go seek private healthcare elsewhere. And despite only being conceived in 1995, some 47 years after the conception of the UK's National Health Service, Taiwan's healthcare system ranked second best in the world, behind South Korea in first place and way ahead of the UK in a quite respectable 10th place. As I said, look out for a full video on this topic in the future, but as a 40-year-old guy who's definitely not getting any younger, I really feel like I'm in the right place when it comes to needing efficient, high-quality healthcare. So let's move on to my next point and talk about the weather in the two different countries. Weather affects us much more than we give it credit for, and in fact, incidences of SAD, seasonally affected disorder, are as high as ever and affect as many as 3% of people in the UK. And it's much more serious than just feeling a little bit blue when it's cloudy. It's much more comparable to conditions such as depression or even bipolar disorder. As we all know, people love to make jokes about the UK's terrible weather, but when we consider something as serious as SAD, it is no joke that many people are seriously affected by our dark, bleak, gloomy autumn and winters there. That's probably more than half of the year without sunshine, that leads to a general miserable feeling in many people's daily lives. Now, Taiwan of course does have its tropical rains and typhoons that blow through here on occasion, as well as incredibly uncomfortably hot summer days, but in general there are just more hours of sunshine per year in Taiwan than there are in the UK. Yes, of course, it depends very heavily on which city you live in Taiwan, and I'm sure there are people in Taipei where there's lots of rain and clouds that are affected by SAD, but personally, and again, this video is all about my opinion, I just feel happier on a day-to-day basis soaked in the sunshine rather than the dark, gloomy skies I would be living under in the UK most of the time. In fact, I have one Taiwanese friend that often tells me the best cure for a little bit of sadness or depression, a low feeling, is to get outside in the sunshine, take a walk, and allow that natural vitamin D to improve your mood. So I guess sitting here at my desk filming a video outside in public totally counts for my daily intake of vitamin D, and I hope you guys can see the positive mood it is putting me in to be back at this desk filming outside, taking in all this sunshine. Point number 3 is a boring one but very important one, and that's tax. Taiwan's taxation rates are absolutely amazing in my opinion. I'm sure people are going to disagree with me, those of you that feel like you pay too much, but 5% VAT on everything I buy compared to 20% VAT on everything you buy in the UK is absolutely unbelievable. That's basically 4 times more spent on tax on everything you buy. And not just VAT, but income tax levels are much lower in Taiwan at every level of income. At my rather meager level of income, I pay 12% tax on everything that I earn here in Taiwan, which would actually be 20% with the same income over in the UK. And even if my income was to magically double overnight, then my tax rate would go to 20% in Taiwan, but would actually be a massive 40% in the UK. Yes, I know cost of living and many other factors come into it, but I get a good standard of living at a much lower tax rate here in Taiwan. I guess we have to thank the Taiwanese economy for funding the country so well, as I know that Taiwan is an export economy and also import tax rates are incredibly high, which of course is to encourage people to buy made in Taiwan products and support local business. But on a personal, perhaps more selfish level, I'm allowed to keep more of the money that I earn here in Taiwan than I would be able to keep the money that I earned if I worked in the UK. So financially, Taiwan is just a much better option for me and the future of my family. Which brings me to my next point, where I'm going to talk a little bit about crime and safety. If I get murdered, I can't earn money. William doesn't have food and clothes. Yes, a little bit of a dramatic way to highlight the point, but basically with a homicide rate of 1.2 per 100,000 in the UK, compared to half of that at 0.6 homicides per 100,000 people here in Taiwan, I'm twice as likely to be murdered or killed in the UK compared to here in Taiwan. And it's not just murder rates that are lower here. I've talked about the numbers and the statistics in detail in another video. I'll put it up in the corner, but basically robbery, street crime, burglary. In fact, most crimes that happen on a day-to-day basis and affect the general person on the street are much less prevalent here in Taiwan than they are in the UK. It's just facts that the crime rate is lower in Taiwan than it is in the UK. I can work in a coffee shop, which I do every day, go for a pee, leave my laptop on the table and be sure that it's going to be there when I come back. I can have a few beers in a bar, maybe get a little bit drunk, forget about my backpack, leave it there and be sure that it's going to be there the next day when I go to pick it up. Happened last week twice. And just generally, people are nicer to each other in public here in Taiwan than they are back in the UK. Not just because I'm a foreigner. Yes, I may get a little bit of special treatment here and there, especially when I go to places with my camera, but Taiwanese people are huge proponents of the live and let live mantra. Or you could even say they prefer a kind of, if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all kind of feeling. And what I mean by that is that yes, you're much less likely to engage in conversation with strangers in Taiwanese culture. They keep themselves to themselves much more, but they're also much less likely to start a confrontation or fight with you if you step on their foot in a bar or bump into them in a crowded supermarket. I did think about making Taiwanese people point number 5, but I didn't want to get accused of brown nosing. Therefore, I just included it as part of this related to crime and safety and how generally in society as a whole, we just feel much safer here in Taiwan and much less likely of coming into trouble. So my actual point number 5 is gonna be the food. Yes, nothing compares to my mum's homemade spaghetti bolognese or her Sunday roast dinner back in the UK, but coming to Taiwan and exploring its thousands of traditional Taiwanese restaurants has really opened my mind and shown me that there's much more to the culinary world than meat, potatoes and gravy. I have stepped out of my culinary comfort zone on a weekly or even daily basis at times during my life here. I have eaten things that I would never have even considered eating back in the UK, and I really think it's made me a better person. The food here is both delicious and challenging. It can be quite difficult to overcome the appearance of some dishes as a typical British person that's been brought up on his mum's cooking. And it's one of the major reasons that I don't have a kitchen at home. Also, because I'm too stingy to pay the rent on a place with a big kitchen. Food brings you closer to the community when you live as a foreigner here in Taiwan. The style of restaurants brings you physically closer to people when you're eating. Whereas in England, when you go to a restaurant, then it's more likely to bring you closer to the people that you're going to the restaurant with, your friends or your family, for example. But here in Taiwan, you'll probably find that sometimes you'll be sharing a table with an uncle or an auntie that probably isn't going to engage in conversation with you, but is going through the same experience that you are. Eating a freshly prepared, wholesome, traditional Taiwanese meal that's been lovingly created, probably by the same person or at least the same family for years and decades. And there's a certain, close feeling that comes with that I certainly don't get from eating out in the UK. I certainly didn't expect to get so deep when talking about eating out in Taiwan, but it's really something that you can't experience in a restaurant that you'll go to back in the UK. Here in Taiwan, it's a completely different experience for foreigners. Maybe Taiwanese people take it for granted, but I love it every single time, whether I'm in a breakfast shop at 6 a.m., a restaurant for lunch. I really enjoy that exciting feeling of eating something traditional and Taiwanese. But yes, let me know in the comment section if you agree with the 5 points that I've made today. And of course, most importantly, let me know if you don't agree so that we can have a little bit of a ding dong in the comment section. If you think there's something that I've missed or there's something else I should have added, then please let me know. I did consider making a list of 10 things that are better here than the UK, but I didn't want the video to be too long, so I kept it short and sweet for you. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and look out for my next video, which is probably going to be 5 reasons why the UK is better than Taiwan. Gotta milk these topics as much as I can. Anyway, that's enough for now. Don't forget, go check out mine and Prozzie's Patreon for our weekly podcast where we have chats about some of the more deeper, difficult parts of life that we cannot really share on these main channels. But yes, time to say goodbye. So as for now, as always, I'll see you next time in my life in Taiwan. Peace. Bye-bye. One more thing I want to share with you guys. I want to say a big thanks to Jonas from the I Am Jonas channel, who recently sent me this Christmas gift. I'm pretty sure it's one of his made in Sweden scented candles. Really sweet of him. I'm really happy to receive a Christmas gift because I'm not going to be making it home for Christmas this year. And I really wanted to include it and promote it a little bit for Jonas. I'm sure there's a link in the description down below, but he didn't ask me to promote it. He just sent it me as a gift, but I really want to let you guys know that this is available. Already starting to make this rather smelly apartment smell much more Christmassy. Thanks, Jonas, and thanks to you guys for watching. Go check out the link in the description down below. He didn't ask me to do this. I'm just doing it because that's what friends do. We help each other out, and I'm too lazy to send him a gift back. So yeah, Merry Christmas to Jonas, and thanks to you guys for watching. Really, bye-bye.